Hello, my name's Ingrid Thorpe and I'm Director of Product Management and I work on Identity Manager. So today we're going to discuss one of the fastest growing challenges in identity security, and that's non-human identities. Most organizations now have more non-human identities than human users. Service accounts, application identities, service principals, machine identities, and increasingly AI agents all require governance. The challenge is not simply identifying them, it's ensuring they have ownership, appropriate access, regular review, and accountability. Historically, identity governance focused on employees, contractors, and partners. Today, organizations must also govern a growing number of non-human identities. These identities often hold privileged access, operate continuously, and can be difficult to track without formal governance processes. The arrival of AI agents adds another category to this landscape, but fundamentally, they should be treated as non-human identities subject to governance control. Different organizations discover non-human identities through different mechanisms, and this may involve privileged access management platforms, cloud providers, security tools, configuration management databases, and identity governance solutions. Regardless of how the identity is identified, the governance challenge remains the same. Who owns it? What does it have access to? Why does it exist? How is it reviewed? When should it be retired? And this is where identity governance becomes critical. A common mistake is treating every non-human identity identically. Different NHI types carry different risks and require different governance models. The first step is classification, and Identity Manager 10.0 introduced an expanded identity schema to support a broader range of NHI identity types, including service, machine, and agentic identities. The single most important governance control is ownership. Every non-human identity should have a responsible owner. That owner becomes accountable for purpose, access, certification, and lifecycle decisions. One of the biggest risks organizations face is orphaned technical identities that nobody believes they own. The same lifecycle principles used for human identities should apply to non-human identities. Who requested this identity? Was it approved? Who owns it? Has its purpose changed? Is it still required? Identity Manager is particularly strong in this area, and we've been doing this for decades through workflows, approvals, ownership models, and lifecycle governance processes. Review frequency should be driven by risk. More importantly, review criteria differs from human identity reviews. For a human identity review, we ask, should Jane still have access to SAP Finance? For an NHI review, we ask, does this account still serve a legitimate purpose? Is the owner still correct? Has it been used recently? Are the privileges still appropriate? The frequencies on this table are just a guide to get you started. Every business, you're going to have your own risk model. Now, good governance needs context. A decision to approve, certify, or revoke access is only as good as the evidence behind it. If all we do is ask someone to click approve, we've added process without adding assurance. So the question is, what feeds those decisions? Usage tells us if an identity is actually doing anything. Risk signals tell us whether something looks dangerous. Security findings and wider governance inputs fill in the picture. Identity Manager brings these together so a review is grounded in evidence and not a calendar reminder. What's changed in version 10.0 is that the platform no longer just takes these signals in, it acts upon them. Behavior-driven governance uses access behavior to inform and automate governance decisions, so a review can be prompted on what an identity is doing, not only by the date. Risk-based governance pulls in risk scores from third-party analytics and behavior analytics tools, so governance reflects real-time threat context rather than a static policy alone. And where something crosses the line, intelligent threat detection and response playbooks helps you respond automatically. A playbook can disable an account flag a security incident, or launch a targeted attestation, which shortens the window between detection and action. Governance is not just about finding identities, it's about making good evidence-based decisions about them and now acting on those decisions quickly. AI agents may be new, but governance principles are not. An AI agent should have an owner, have defined permissions, be auditable, be reviewed, and be retired when no longer needed. The same governance framework applied to service accounts and application identities can be extended to AI agents. Where agents differ, and worth saying out loud, they act with delegated human authority and they can chain access dynamically. The governance framework doesn't change, but the accountability question gets sharper. You need to follow both the agent and the person it acts for. And this ties back to some earlier material I've produced on identity and access management for AI. Now, my advice is don't try and solve everything at once. Start with the identities you already know about. Focus on ownership and accountability first, and build governance maturity over time. Inventory known non-human identities, classify identity types, assign ownership, establish review policies, and extend governance to AI agents. To close, non-human identities are now a core part of the identity landscape. Different non-human identity types require different governance approaches. Ownership is the most important control. Reviews should be risk-based and evidence-driven. And AI agents should be covered as non-human identities, not treated as a separate world. As always, thanks for listening. I hope this guide was useful, and if you've got any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out.